and fight to be able to keep their kids off the streets, being homeless. They're single parents. Life is already hard. Believe it or not, some of these women don't want to depend on the state to help them with nothing. They don't want the food stamps. They don't want the WIC. They want to be able to say, I brought these kids in the world. I can manage and take care of them with the help of the Father. So my question is to family court, what are you doing? Why are you not following protocol? You always talk about, oh, this president should be impeached. When Clinton was president, the thing with Monica, impeached him. When Obama was president, something about his background, they wanted to impeach him. Donald Trump is president. Now, something's going on with him. They want to impeach him. What about impeaching some of these judges that are getting paid state money to handle cases that have all the evidence, pay stubs, bank statements, medical bills, doctor notes. What else do the parents bring in? Notes from jobs. And you have all the information, but you never review it. I asked a judge one day, because me and him were sitting, and I asked him, I said, how does it work when y'all get these cases? He was like, well, usually when we get them, he said, we take about 5 minutes to review them. 5 minutes? So that means you have no clue about these people. They're just a number. How are you going to say you care about these children and you don't want teens running the streets, violence, young kids shooting up people, people stealing? Well, guess what? If you're not helping the mothers and they're coming to your court and they provide you all the information to show you that they're doing what they got to do to take care of their kids, and they have a father that's working, and you don't do the calculations right, you are just as responsible for whatever happens in those kids' life as the mother. You need to take responsibility because you're the judge. And you're supposed to uphold the law and do the right thing. Now, I done read over 7 child support cases this week. And today's only Tuesday. And I've talked to several mothers. And it makes me very upset, including when I think about my own case. How these judges and commissioners and mediators do not do what they're supposed to do. You need to take the time out to review these cases. Because you're screwing the child. Making the mother work harder or making her depend on the state. So when taxes go up and you got to pay more for whatever reason, just remember it's part of your fault. Because you could have lowered a lot of stuff had you reviewed the case and did the calculations to make sure the children are taken care of and the mother does not have to depend on the state. Now, if the mother is not working, order her to get a job. She's just as responsible as the father. Make her get a job. I do agree that if you get state assistance, you should be working. Unless you're disabled. But a lot of these mothers do not, because you know what? It's the state. It's the system. It's almost like you want these mothers to depend on them, on the state. And sometimes I wonder, I said, maybe family court and like sometimes I wonder, do they say, this is the mother I'm going to help today? I'm not going to help her. I'm going to help this one. Even though the information is there, you choose who you want to help and who you don't want to help. But I'm telling you, this paper I just showed you is my order. And on number 9, if you go back and you look at the camera, it says respondent quit his job and moved to his country when he received a personal injury settlement. That lets you know it was a large amount. Respondent testified he invested this amount of money in the settlement into a deposit for the purpose of those funds to become unavailable. So he put the money in our account so he could not make them available. But they are to be used for child support. Well, how come they ain't been used yet? You know he has an account. You know he does. And I know y'all, child support and family court can levy bank accounts, everything. If you didn't know that, now you know. They can levy. Why haven't you done anything? This order was July 2019. We're in 2020. Almost 6 months later. And you haven't done nothing, but you know what's in the bank account. Matter of fact, I gave them the information of how they can attain people's bank account information because the IRS does it. It says he is to pay this directly to DCSS. Well, child support in Dover don't do anything unless you stay on top of it. You have to stay on top of your case. And even then, depends on who your caseworker is. I've talked to several of them. It's only one there that I can honestly say can relate because she was in the same system. And she said that she has a child support case and she works there. And she said, I'm going to be honest, they don't do nothing. And her kid's father makes great money. Me and her talked about it for about an hour. I'm like, what? And you work here? She said, yeah, but I have to have a job. I got to support my kids. She said, and I work 2 jobs. Sometimes I even work odd jobs. Come on, that's wrong. And you're not doing nothing for the father to take care of the kid? What's wrong with you court systems? What's wrong with the government system? Do you want people to depend on you guys? And if so, then you need to start dishing out money whenever these mothers need it. And you know that the father should be helping. This order goes on. It says all other elements are underlined in child support shall remain in full force in effect. And then it says in line 10, the party shall report any changes of driver's license, address, including when he goes to jail, release from jail, telephone number, employee address, or telephone to DCSS. Well, I got news for you. They do not. They do not. They do not. Then this order goes on to say that he is able to work and choose not to work. That's what this order says. Now, I want y'all to remember, this is dated 7/12/19, right? You see that date? All right. Now, when you go to whatever, let me make sure I don't want his name to show up. I'm trying to say. Now, this is a withholding for my case. Let me see. Can you see that date? That date says 7/2. So when I went to court that day and talked to this judge, see that date 7/2? See that date 7/2? We went on the 12th. Now, this is a withholding of support. So, if you look at the letter, it says that he did not, if I'm not mistaken, let me make sure. It says that he didn't have a job. This is how you know family court does not check and read your cases. Because he did have a job. He had a job because child support sent the job a letter asking for withholdings on July the 2nd. We went to court July the 12th. You see what I'm saying? Like, the court is not doing their job. The judges, some of them in there, they're not doing their job. And this was sent from, I have to make sure, I try not to, but let me show you something. Because it's saying it loudly. This was sent from here. And you can see the caseworker name and everything on here. This is my paperwork. So I don't mind showing it. And as you can see, it talks about the $10,000 up there, Brenda. It tells you the day. It says that in Delaware, they can take up to 65% of a man's check. So if in Delaware they could take up to 65% of the man's check and he has all these rears, why aren't they taking more money to catch up the rears so the mother can do whatever she needs to do to make sure the kids have stuff? Do you know that the kids have school pictures? And I remember one year I did not get my son's school pictures done. It was because I wanted to take him to JCPenney's and get them done. It was cheaper. He would still have pictures to give to his friends, you know. So I was like, hey, baby, mommy's going to take you and get them done there. A little boy said, nah, your mom, she didn't pay for you to get your pictures done because your mama ain't got no money. Your mom ain't got no money to get your pictures done. Well, the pictures were $49.99 per child because he was in a special school, and that's how much, let me make sure because I got a meeting to go to. That's how much it was. And I said, no, baby. So when it came time to do retakes, my son wanted his pictures done. He was like, Mom, I really want to get my pictures done. So I made sure I paid for him to get done. So when my son got his pictures, the little boy was like, oh, I guess you can afford to get pictures done. But it was just the fact that that little information that my son came home and told me was like major to him. He was so happy to get his pictures done at school like everybody else. When my son had his tonsils taken out, you know, they only eat like yogurt, ice cream, whatever. Well, the school does not give you that for free. You got to pay for it. So I had to open up an account so he'll be able to get ice cream when he has sick days because he was going to feeding therapy and all that. I asked the lady at child support, I said, okay, if this is a note from the doctor, I had the note from the doctor stating what I had to purchase for him to eat. I said, shouldn't this be counted for me and the father have to support? Because it was like Pediasure. My baby was very, very sickly. And Pediasure for 6 bottles was like, it's like $13.99. She was like, it should be. But she said, family court is the one that decides if the father has to pay it back, half of it. She said, and I can't guarantee you what family court in Dover do. She said, because we have no control over them. They do what they want over there. That was the key word she said. They do what they want. Who's going to stop this craziness? Who's going to put the kids first? Because I am almost certain the family court and child support does not. Child support says that they send their paperwork to the DAG. Now, this came from Child Support Office, Kent County, Dover, on Governor Avenue. She said, okay, with your case, ma'am, she said, I sent it to them. She said, but it blew my mind that they were not willing to do anything about it. She was like, because it doesn't make sense. She says, so me and a supervisor got together and we talked about it. And she said, we argued with them about it. Well, I had to file the paperwork myself at family court. And family court was like, well, child support is supposed to file your paperwork. And I was like, no, I can file my own. So this is the game that they play. Child support to tell you it's family court. Family court to say, well, child support has to file the paperwork for us to look at or review it. But the truth of the matter is they don't review the cases at all. I've not met one judge that I've stand in front of to do my case. Not one. Now, I have met judges to tell me, oh, well, our hands are tied. How are your hands tied? Aren't you supposed to be able to upforce the law? You can order him to pay whatever, even if he doesn't like it. That's why they garnish wages. Now, I could see if he had more kids,